What is up, you guys, and welcome back to another video. Now this video is going to be completely different to what I usually make. Usually obviously I talk about streetwear and clothes in that kind of ballpark. However, today is going to be more kind of how I'm feeling and kind of what I've done to make myself feel positive, I guess. I want to focus mainly on the body of this video and less on the unserious stuff maybe. So if you come for the memes, I'm sorry guys. Lately I've been feeling kind of shit, a bit senseless. I didn't really know what I was doing. This isn't just in terms of content, but more in terms of what I'm doing like in real life. Every day I would just procrastinate. I wouldn't really get anything done and I'd just be super lazy. Obviously that's not very sustainable. And it kind of got to a point where I would spend my whole day just watching YouTube videos or other videos, but I wouldn't have any motivation at all to make my own content. To a certain extent, that's still the case. However, it's something that's getting improved a lot, pretty much day by day almost, which is also why I'm making this video, because I feel a lot happier now than I did just a week ago essentially. Even though I didn't really do anything any of the days, I still really didn't feel relaxed. I didn't feel like I was getting enough sleep. Kind of got to a point where I decided if YouTube even was something I wanted to do, something I wanted to pursue and continue with. I started questioning if London was right for me. Was London too big maybe? Would I rather move back to Copenhagen? Do I want to move somewhere else? Why am I living here? Am I using the city enough? I had all these kind of questions and it's kind of, well, existential crisis almost, where you don't know if you want to continue what you're doing or switch it up or do something completely different. So I kind of just ended up doing nothing, which is worse. So I went down a YouTube rabbit hole. I saw a lot of these motivational speeches, TED Talks, all this content around just different routines, different habits, and kind of changing up your life essentially. I'll link every single one I referenced down in the description. And although I've only done it for something like a week, it's still changed me a lot already. Now I'm not gonna go into this massive motivational speak about how suddenly I'm a brand new man, because I'm not. But I can just feel that my happiness and positivity has risen so much. I'm not a motivational speaker, and I fucking hate seeing like motivational quotes on my Instagram story or all this stuff, which is kind of hypocritical of me. But today is more just the habits I've kind of taken on and how they've affected my life essentially. So yeah, that's the video you've clicked on. You've clicked the video of a guy in a Mickey Mouse t-shirt talking about how he changed his life in just 7 days. So without further ado, let's get into the changes in habits, I guess. So the first one, which is probably one of the hardest ones, I'd say, is just simply waking up earlier. But the benefits of waking up is that you have a much earlier start on the day. I used to wake up at 10, I'd stay in bed till 12, and I'd be out of my house at 1 o'clock maybe. So I wasted pretty much all my day. However, now I wake up at 6 o'clock, take a cold shower. I know, horrible, but I feel so much better. Like I feel more energized. The first 3-4 days are super hard. You have to kind of change your day routine, wake up earlier, go to bed earlier. One of the things that I found was really helpful was charging my phone in another room or somewhere where you can't reach it essentially. So you can't just lie in bed, roll over, grab your phone and then scroll, snooze, whatever. You have to physically get out of bed. But waking up so early kind of gives you a better structure around your day and around your life, and it gives you so much more time to do hobbies, interests, seeing people, and just getting ahead of work. Like now it feels so good waking up at 6 and then already by 12 or by 10 I've already done 4 to 6 hours of work. It's so liberating that you can finish work early but still have the rest of the day essentially. Coming from me, who's like the biggest night owl, like I would go to bed at probably 2 or 3 every night. Realistically, I didn't do anything at night. I would maybe watch some YouTube videos or check social media for like the 100th time of the day. It's not like I was doing any work. So for me, it's a lot easier to just go to bed earlier, get that discipline, wake up early, and then you've got a lot more time to work essentially. I've said essentially so many times already. But yeah, that's the first habit I had. Just waking up earlier is surprisingly nice. Now the next routine is very cliche, and it's simply just reading a lot, or reading more at least, reading more books. Some people are very good at reading, they'll just read very naturally. They've always been like that, they've been bookworms. Now myself, I've read Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and that's it, 7, 8, 9 years ago. So I literally haven't read a book completely in 9 years, which is horrible. But for me, reading helps me concentrate a lot. It's like meditation. I read probably an hour a day now. I'll read half an hour in the morning and I'll read half an hour at night. And I think it's really good because you can find a lot of inspiration in books, you can learn a lot, and you can spend your time and really dwell. Dwell, is that the right word? You can really focus on something, completely divert your attention to this one thing. So it helps me a lot to kind of put my phone away when I read, and I'll have half an hour just undisturbed, and it just helps me a lot. Currently, I'm reading this book called Little Things: The Huge Power of Thinking Like a Toddler. Now, this book is primarily for business, I'd say, but it's also very relevant for everyone, I'd say. It's about how kids and toddlers are a lot more creative, they're a lot more spontaneous, they're pretty much confident in what they do. They don't really say no to anything, always more enthusiastic, they're a lot more straightforward. It kind of talks about how education and work makes us these individuals who make too many different choices or think too much. So this is kind of idea of growing down and having more childlike attributes. Being more confident, being more reckless, maybe being more straightforward. I haven't read the whole thing yet. I'm probably like halfway through, but it's such a good read. The main thing for me to take away from this is just to be more spontaneous. So saying yes to more things, just getting out the house, going for lunch, seeing more people, just saying yes more and just getting out instead of saying, oh, I can't do this because I don't have time, where realistically I have got time. I just don't want to do it. I mean, the other day I went to play tennis, which I haven't done for probably 4 years, and it's cool. Like, it's nice being more spontaneous, and it's something I've definitely needed to be more in my life, at least. So the next thing is simply just using your phone less, or using my phone less. Now, I know that's hypocritical considering I've got my notes on my phone right now, but it's honestly very, very true. It's very much about using your phone less and then being more in the now. There's been these studies about how we've got the same attention span as a goldfish now, apparently. We make more decisions or think about more stuff in just one day as a male did in the 1600s in a whole year or a whole lifetime, something like that. Which is crazy, but it makes sense because we check on our phone on average like 70 times a day, if not more. There's all these things like social media, work, emails. It all kind of just catches up. I can't believe this went black. It all kind of just catches up, and it's very, very scary. It's hard for me because social media is kind of my job, so I have to stay up to date on Instagram and YouTube. Now I've started using it a lot less, and I feel more happy about it. When I then go on it, I appreciate posts more. I don't just scroll endlessly. So putting away my phone just in general when I'm out seeing people, or for lunch, or for dinner, whatever it is, has helped a lot. You're a lot more focused, you're a lot more present. Your mind doesn't always wander to something else. And I think we've become so scared of missing out on something online that we kind of forget to live in our life, and we're too busy checking other social media about what's happening on the internet instead of actually focusing on what you're doing in the moment right now. And there is nothing worse than spending time with someone and the only thing they do is just be on their phone constantly. They don't really pay attention, they don't focus. So I like that I don't use my phone as much because I can be more in the presence, essentially. I said essentially again, motherfucker. Now, the next point is somewhat controversial, somewhat different, and very, very weird to talk about. However, it is to do with no-fap, or no wanking, essentially. No porn, no masturbation. Yeah. So basically cutting out all of that kind of stuff for a period of 90 days. Some people do it for longer, but it's to do with your dopamine levels. Now, I won't go too much into the whole science behind it, but it's to do with you watching pornography and then you spike your dopamine levels to the same point of cocaine, I believe. So you basically flood your brain and your receptors with dopamine, and it kind of takes out your motivation to do other things. So basically hits your level of social skills, your motivation to do other things. I think a lot of the time it just comes down to different cases, individual cases. I mean, I'm 21 now. I've probably watched porn for like 8 years maybe, which is a long time. Like, as long as I can remember being on internet, that's how long I've been watching porn, which is pretty crazy. It's almost become so ingrained in our society, not just porn, but just masturbation in general, where it's not why are you masturbating, it's like why are you not masturbating? And I have to be honest, it takes a lot of self-control to kind of change that way of life and how what you do at night, essentially. But it's super fulfilling. I'm excited to see how it progresses in the future. As I said, it's only been going on for like a week. I don't know if that's what's made me feel more positive or happier, or if it's something else or a combination, but I'm excited to see how it's going to affect me further down the line, essentially. The last habit is writing stuff down. Writing stuff down you need to do the next day. This can be anything. It can be motivational stuff, can be a bullet point list, things you just have to do, like cleaning, maybe making a video, editing, messaging your mom, whatever it is. Writing it down, getting it off your chest, off your brain. It kind of gives you a sense of what you're doing next day and makes sure you're always productive. You've always got a list of what you need to do for that day. Now, I personally use a book called The 5-Minute Journal. This basically goes through the effects of it, how important it is. There's a lot more science in this. I'm not gonna show you guys what I've written down, but basically you've got one page here. At the top, you've got a different quote on every page. This one says, "Sometimes you can't see yourself clearly until you see yourself through the eyes of others." A quote by Ellen DeGeneres. But at the top it says, "I'm grateful for." So you put down 3 things you're grateful for in your life or that day. What would make today great? Another 3 things. Daily affirmations, I am blah, blah, blah. And then at night, you write down 3 amazing things that happened today and how could have made today even better. It's kind of for the people who don't write a journal. You just summarize it in bullet points very, very quickly. As it says, 5-minute journal. It's gonna take you 5 minutes every night, but it kind of maps out a day or a week, what you wanna change, what you wanna do next day. Honestly, you don't need to get this book. You can make bullet points yourself, but I think this is super helpful. A very easy way to kind of structure your life even more. And that is it. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the things I do. Those are the changes I've changed the last 5, 6, 7 days-ish so far. It's been very positive. I feel a lot more energized, a lot more happy, to be honest. I just kind of felt like I was in the weird hole. It wasn't really to do with mental health. It was more to do with just general self-loving in a way. Maybe self-awareness, what I want to do in life. But as I said, I'll link every single video down in the description that I've got inspiration from or that had an impact on me. You can go check them out if you want to read more into detail with it. Also, do let me down in the comments what you do to stay sane. Do you read? Do you just eat healthy? Do you exercise a lot? There are so many things you can do to not necessarily change your life, but just kind of change routines. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very different video to usual. I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. And I'll see you guys very soon.